for Freedoms is the name of a political action committee that is funded an exhibit called Cultured, the Art of Politics, at the Jack Shainman Gallery in Chelsea. It'll be up through August 5th, a week or so into the next phase of the presidential race, when the campaigns will have kicked into post-convention high gear.
What's the connection between art and politics in this case? Why raise and spend that at first glance doesn't help ring doorbells for paying for advertising? For answers, we're joined by two of the featured artists. Wyatt Gallery, no relation to Jack Shainman Gallery, is also the PAC's executive director and a curatorial consultant for the show. Thank you for being here on BK Live. And Coby Kennedy, who, among other things, likes to alter our perceptions of both guns and vending machines. Thank you guys both very much for being here.
So there was a reference, obviously, to the Roosevelt. You have freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and freedom from, what is it, fear and want.
Yeah.
So where's the point of entry for the artists and their interpretations in this election year with those things?
Well, our base was Roosevelt's speech of 1941, where he declared that all humans deserve to have those four basic freedoms. And what happened next was an artist named Rockwell did these four paintings illustrating those freedoms. And then the government used them as propaganda to help sell war bonds. So one of our collaborators, Hank Willis Thomas, wanted to bring back a newer version of this and see how art can be used now to create new dialogues, new forms of discussions within politics.
Coby, you're a brilliant artist yourself. What can you tell us about what inspires your work? Controversial work at that.
People have told me that my work is controversial before, but what I kind of see it as a reflection of the reality that we live in. The fact that people find it controversial is kind of a statement on our contemporary time. I grew up as a, I was an industrial designer for a long time, and I wanted to integrate industrial design and fine art and plug into the different kind of commercial aspects of society and like the political aspects of society and how it all intertwines together.
So why a PAC? When we think of these political action committees, we think of this was paid for by, or all of the people who do the dirty things that the politicians try to disassociate themselves from officially. But how do you guys think of this idea of incorporating a political action committee for art?
Well, I mean, the way we see it is a super PAC is generally a advertising company that just works within politics. And what we want to do is use art to take over media space and, like I said, create new conversation where only art can create these types of nuanced conversations. So we wanted to use democracy itself and our current state of democracy, super PACs, to raise more awareness about the impact of super PACs and money in politics.
Well, you mentioned earlier, this guy, Rockwell, Norman Rockwell, who happened to get on Roosevelt's team and make these posters, and that was sort of like the American artist.
Yep.
And we've totally taken in this tradition of the Rockwells. But is there a person now who you think has that ability or even that reach that is setting the sort of creating this new American standard, whether it's rightly or wrongly or something that's even aspirational? Is there a clear artistic voice that we have now in 2016?
Well, we feel as a super PAC what we can do is empower many artists to be more involved in the political process. We believe that all citizens need to be more involved in the political process, that we can't just leave it to the, quote, politicians all the time. We all need to step up and have a voice. And so we feel we can assist Coby and other artists to put their voice out there, not just in an art gallery format, but bring it to the public.
What are we seeing with this gun vending machine? I mean, I'm just calling it that as I see it.
I spent 10 years outside of the States, in Asia and Europe. It was during the formative years. I missed the whole Bush presidency.
Lucky you. No, I'm sorry I said that. Go ahead, Coby.
Yeah, and so I came back to a very different country than I left. And the machines are essentially a reaction to that. I saw this country really turn into it turned into more of a dystopian science fiction reality that I hadn't seen before, and so this is kind of an embodiment of that. taking a lot of the things that we take for granted in this society that are very sensational and very far from our everyday, but they're there, you know, if we care to look at it. If you turn on the television right now, look at commercial television, look at the RNC, look at all the things that are going on right now, it's just as sensational and outlandish as these machines that I'm making.
So we know we have some other works here. Dred Scott, who's been here before, is a part of this exhibition as well.
Yeah.
How did you guys curate or decide who is going in?
Well, the co-founders Hank Willis-Thomas and Eric Gottesman were the main curators, and then myself, the executive director, and Joeonna, from Jack Shainman Gallery, we all came together and discussed certain artists. And Dred came to us one day right after, during that week where a few different African Americans were killed by police officers, and said, I have this flag, can we put it up at the gallery? And immediately we said, yes, bring it to the gallery. And when he brought it to the gallery, we heard through word of mouth that there was a protest going on, Black Lives Matter, at Union Square.
Right.
So immediately, Dred and I and some members from Jack Shainman Gallery walked over to the square where you see that photo, and we held up the flag. And a lot of people came up to Dred. He could tell it really resonated with a lot of the younger people there, even though they had never seen the original flag that it was based on from 1936, when the NAACP would hang a flag, that said a man was lynched yesterday on Fifth Avenue.
Yeah.
So we then hung it up outside of the gallery, and we've since had to remove it by the landlord's request. But our plan is to now move that flag to other locations, other museums, and then do the same thing with Coby and his gun vending machines, to see how we can put those out on the street, bring art to the public, and create more conversation. This flag created a lot of conversation. You know, we actually received a lot of...
pissed off landlord.
Well, not only that, but you know, we ended up on a few different news outlets and got a lot of hate mail from people across the country.
And this is historic, too. Like,
it is historic, and our position is, you don't have to just... It's not about only choosing, okay, only Black Lives Matters or only Blue Lives Matters. It's not about that. You know, you can believe both lives matter, both are important. It doesn't take away from the other one. But what we're saying is this needs to be discussed. If people are getting killed by the police, we need to have more conversation about that so that we can stop it.
Unfortunately, we're out of time. Where do people see the exhibition real quick? And
Jack Shainman Gallery in Manhattan and Chelsea. And if you go to our website, forfreedoms.org, which is spelled F-O-R, you can get all the information and see what we're up to. And you can get involved if people want to join us.
Thank you very much for being on BK Live.
Yeah,
brilliant work. Coby, I love that vending machine.
Thanks.
I mean, it's spectacular.
How can
I
we see
adore
more
it.
of your work outside of the
Let's put it in
exhibit?
front of BRIC.
Yeah, please.
Our boss is watching. You'll get a call.
You can check out CobyKennedy.com or Instagram Coby Kennedy, and you can see more.
Phenomenal. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
We brought you guys.
Thank you.
Swag.